La 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 la. Hello everyone. Well, here we are. We had a successful firing last night here in the converted from electric to gas kiln, and I've opened the kiln. It's now the next day. It's like, this kiln finished at 10:20 last night. We opened it about 5 o'clock this afternoon the following day, and I just thought that you might like to see some of the results, because I know some of you have said to me, "Oh Simon, we'd really like to see that glaze that you've been working with and how it comes out." So I thought, well, this is an opportunity to share that with you and show you. So I'm just going to incline the camera down in there, and then we can proceed. So I'll try and get it. The burners behave very, very nicely, I'm happy to report. Okay, there you see what awaited us when we opened up the kiln. Let me take it just back a touch, and we get a bit more of a complete view inside the kiln. Okay, there we are. Always when you have a firing, there's some disappointments, and there's always, it's sometimes a bit of a mixed bag. And with this particular firing, this is the first glaze firing that I've had in this kiln, using this chimney setup as we've got, using the weed burners in cooperation with a 1 to 60 psi regulator, which I've got on the propane tank outside. That certainly worked very nicely. Give me a lot of control over the flame, allowed me to have both of the burners wide open and controlling both of them at the same time from the single gas regulator on top of the gas bottle, which I only just had to move very slightly, and it gave me a nice control over the flame, over the reduction flame. Well, looking here, hang on one second, I need to get a bit of wood just to help me to open up some of those GP bowls. Well, I haven't got a piece of wood, but I've got a hammer, so we'll use the handle of the hammer. Let me just move the camera. I get here a bit like that, and then I can speak, because I'm using the camera that doesn't have a very good microphone. So let's just have a look at some of these pieces. What am I looking for when I open a kiln? One of the first things I want to observe is, and my eye will go straight to the cone. Let's see if we can see the cone. Well, the cone is actually right down there where I'm pointing. Wonder if we can just get him off the shelf. There we are. There he is. There we are. That's cone 10. So cone 10, nicely over on the top shelf. So that's good news. So yes, we achieved the temperature that we wanted to get. The next question I want to ask myself is the reduction quality. How is the reduction in the kiln? These are sort of just the questions I ask myself. I'm looking for particularly the celadon glazes, which have this nice characteristic green, pea green, jade green, whatever you want to call it. And now these bowls, as you can see, that's how they're fired, that's how they come out of That's how they're placed in the kiln. They have now, of course, got to be separated. I want to do that without dropping them. Hang on a sec. There we are. Just a tap, you see, and they come apart. Likewise with this. There we are. All right. Well, interesting there. You see the color on the inside of this, and you see the color on the one on the top. You can see a difference, can't you? The one on the top is more is better reduced, and it's got a slightly bluer tinge to it. You'll note this one here on the top. Here, down in the bottom, you will see some brown specks. Usually when you see brown specks in a bottom like that, but nowhere else, it usually means that some kind of dirt has come in, either in the form of dust, or something's fallen down from the roof of the kiln. You can see the effect of the wood ash there on the sides of the pot. Take a look at the bottom of the pot, and you'll see the bottom of the pot is actually quite a grey colour, which is the sort of normal colour for this clay in reduction at this kind of temperature. By adding, though, the wood ash, I've given it a little bit more interest, haven't I? I think. Okay. So there's again a kitchen mixing bowl. Here you can see, here on the bottom here you can see a case for a need of grinding off a little bit. They can sometimes just be ground. If you take your pots and just put the bottoms together, that sometimes is enough, sometimes it isn't. Sometimes we're going to have to get a carborundum stone there. Okay, again, a little more oxidized than what I would have really wanted. In fact, my observations of this firing are, from just looking here on the top of the kiln, that there was a partial reduction and there was a partial oxidization, and I can see that in some of the glazes that we've got here. Again, there, more reduced on this side slightly yellower and more oxidized. Some nice little ones here, nice little bottle vase there, and this one is nicely reduced all over, and that one's a nice little number, that one. I like that. This glaze behaves quite well at high temperature. Have a look at another one of these. Remember these ones that we did with the hammer, the meat tenderizer. You remember when I was like hitting it on the side to create these sort of flats, but at the same time leave an indentation. But also, can you see on this one the marked area of oxidization there? You see, it's interesting to see. Whereas quite a demarcation line, if you like, between the area that is reduced and the area that is oxidized. So I've got to ask myself the question, well, why is that? Why is that? Here's a pot that I did. Now this was actually a different glaze. This was like a white creamy glaze. And I actually did an iron oxide decoration there of a tree. But can you see how wishy-washy it is? It's come out. It's very very pale, very not really properly, not properly enough strength in the iron on that one. So there's another nice little number, fluted. This one's fluted from the bottom going upwards like that, not from the top going downwards. This gives a slightly different effect. So there's that. Alright, here's a pot. Now this is a disappointment. This didn't really come out as I really wanted it to. It was like a red khaki iron rich glaze and celadon. I think I put them possibly the wrong way around. Duh. I think I should have put the khaki on. I think I should have put the khaki on first and waxed over the khaki, or just poured the celadon over the khaki. I'm not sure actually. I'll have to do some homework on that one. But actually, it's not too bad a pot really. It all depends, you see, what your level of expectation is. If your level of expectation is one certain particular result that you've got fixated in your mind, then of course, if it's anything but that, then you could say you're disappointed. Now, that's actually sometimes is not a good viewpoint to hold. Obviously, certain times you're after a specific result, but other times, you know, sometimes it's good to just have a bit more of an open mind, isn't it? So, put that fella down there. Again, this is a flared vase or vase. The same treatment. Here we have a jug or a pitcher, slightly more oxidized on that side. Again, you see the color difference there. Wood ash sprayed over. Now with this particular one, I just put a very, very faint flick of wax over the rim there. So when I glazed it, the glaze did not adhere just to that point there, because that's where I'm hoping the sharp edge of the pouring lip of the pitcher will cut the drop off, and hopefully it will pour without dribbling. What else have we got? We've got one lonely coffee mug. Quite nice. Yeah, I'm happy with that. They'll sell. And what's we got here? Ah, we got this. This is a new addition. Let me see if I can demonstrate what that is for. Hang on. Being tired of going around with a blunt knife, so I decided to make myself a knife sharpener. So it's just a hollow, it's got a little tiny hole in the top there, knife sharpener. Sometimes I'm always looking for a doorstep or some bit of masonry work or something to sharpen my knife, and then I thought, hang on a moment, I can make something like that. Just out of a piece of clay that's high fired. Okay, so that. And then also over here we've got, and these were actually some, that's come out quite a dark colour. Wasn't quite sure what that clay was actually, but I sprayed wood ash over it anyway. When I made these initially, I thought they were red clay, but when I fired them and they came out, they weren't. They were something different. I wonder what that clay was. It's actually not too bad. Interesting. La-di-da-di-da. Okay, well, look over here. Remember I was talking and showing you about the pestles and mortars, right? Well, these are the, and here you can see the little pads that they sit in and just fall off easily, don't they? So that's good. What else? This is an interesting pot. This is, again, this is a sort of mixed one. It's come out slightly oxidized, a little bit reduced partially on the... I actually prefer them when they're not this yellowy colour. I prefer more of a greeny bluey. That one. And that one came out a little bit. Over there then we're having a little bit of an oxidization issue by the look of it. And there's another one here, another small one. I can't quite make out if this has got a crack in it or what. Well, it doesn't look like a crack. It's got this line going around there. I can't figure out what it is. Fluted. Rather, you know, when it comes out slightly oxidized, could have been fired in an electric kiln, which I don't like really. So here we have this is reasonably nice. This is a, yeah, cut-sided pot, cylindrical. That came out quite nicely. Quite happy with that. Whoops. A sort of tall vase, cellared and glazed with that khaki poured over, but letting it run, as it were. And here's an interesting one. Now this one, I didn't show you this when I was doing it, but this is a pot that actually raw fired. And the glaze on here is a mixture of 50% wood ash and 50% red clay, just 50-50. And I made these little pocket things here, and I put there, I'll show you, hang on a sec. I've got you know, here at Etna Furnace, because it was a furnace, we had a there's a well, we're down where the furnace is, where they used to make the pig iron. When all the stuff was melted off the top, the slag came off the top. It's called slag, which is like this glassy material, which is very like glaze, isn't it? And there's lots of it around here. You can find it in ditches and in your garden and along the side of the road. So I got it's generally a sort of jadey green colour, but also you get some other nice colours. Here's some bluey pieces, which can be quite interesting. So I thought, well, why don't I take some of that local material and incorporate it in some of my pots? So that's exactly what I did. And these little places here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I made these little pockets, and I put a little piece of this glass just into the pocket there. And then below each pocket, I put this sort of V, like that, you see. because I knew that more than likely it would melt, run down. I didn't want it just to run straight off the pot. So I thought it would be more interesting if I can make a... let me just adjust the focus here on the camera so you can see this in a little bit more detail. I think that's it. I'll shift the light a bit. You can see how it's run down, and it's run down either side here of the these V things. Dams, if you call them, want to call them glaze dams. Also as a precaution, I put a couple of rings here in the base of the pot here at this point, just to, again, so that it wouldn't run off and make the pot stick onto the shelf. I was quite pleased with it in a way that I was able to incorporate some of the local, but I was also pleased actually with the result of the the wood ash and the red clay mixture. Some nice glaze effects going on there. I quite like. So that's that. Let's put the focus back. Okay, so we're just getting near to the end of this. We've got the shelf underneath. It's a nice little one, isn't it? Good sellers, these little bottle vases, bud vases. That was one with the khaki over the celadon. I did a wax resist of some little spots, as you can see there. And quite nice. Quite like that. So, yeah, there's a couple more here on the shelf. Same again. Oh, we have a little frog here from who made that? I think it was made by Tori. She came, well, her husband came on a workshop, so he fired one of her little frogs. She made some animals. They were rather good, I thought. Okay, well, there's just a window in to the... Down there I've got a pestle and mortar. I'm trying to... Oops, there we are, I've got it. There we are, put one of these. That was from the shelf below. That's the mortar, and there's the pestle to go with it, the pesky pestle. Quite nice. This is the kind of pestle, mortar and pestle that you use in the palm of the hand for grinding up your cumin seeds, your coriander seeds, etc. Quite handsome. Okay, I'm pleased with that. That's fired nicely. That's nicely reduced. That's not oxidized, so that's good. Okay. Well, there we are, folks. And yeah, we're in the middle of a workshop here. We've got five people here, and so it was nice they were also able just to see into the kiln a little bit. And yeah, well, there's always a lot to learn, isn't there, when you open a kiln. You hope you're going to get answers to questions, but when you open it, you find, oh my goodness, I've got a lot more questions. So, yeah, visit my website, simonleachpottery.com. Yeah, there you'll find bits and pieces, oddments for sale. We're going to be putting some of these pots, of course, on the website there in the Etsy shop. So give us a few days to get them uploaded, but we will be putting them there. So that's exciting. Okay, well, from Williamsburg here at the Etna Furnace Pottery, Simon Leach says, keep practicing. See you soon. Bye-bye.